He said he's the only player I ever told don't work out in weights this summer. You could tear up a back. You don't hear coaches say that very often. But that time, his over-aggressive play hurt him, and the football comes back to the Georgetown College Tigers.
This could be a critical juncture in this ball game because Northwestern, because of those 2 drop passes, had really gained the momentum. Finally did something to stop this Georgetown offense, but then a free 15-yard penalty gives the football right back to Georgetown at the 50-yard line.
Then from that double wing, Evanston to pull the trigger. Drops back to throw for the 31st time. Here's pressure. Again, he buys time. Penalty flag down. He's across the 45, cuts back to the 40, and knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line. That's the thing he does best. His coaches say that. They say he throws the ball extremely well deep and underneath, but he really runs better. And now you got a football player shaken up in Ron Moore.
Ron Moore injured on the play for Northwestern, and a holding call against Georgetown. And in college football, if you have a positive run, then the penalty is from the spot of the foul. And this penalty is 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a net 15-yard penalty instead of a positive run. So Ron Moore is not happy at all, but his coaching staff is very satisfied to see the penalty against this Georgetown offense.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
So Dwight Nebling, the official from the heart of America, makes that call. 10-yard holding penalty, and like they put in college football this year, is now in the spot of the foul.
Yeah, you see the wide splits from the offensive line of Georgetown, and then you see the rush, but they're holding Dustin Lovelace in the middle of football field. Quarterback Eddie Evanston, always a threat to run the football, but this is all for naught. It doesn't matter what he gains. The holding penalty is back there. It's called. It's a net 15-yard penalty.
First and 25. Evanston pitches back. Northwestern's got the football at the 18. First time they've gotten the ball back today. On a toss, he got the quarterback, got nailed, and is picked up by Darrell Richardson. So the Rangers, who couldn't force a turnover in the first half, get the ball. They've got the ball now at the 19-yard line.
It's amazing the turnovers we've seen in this ballgame have mostly been caused by the offense making mistakes. Eddie Evanston this time had his running back too close to him. He's getting hit by Darrell Richardson. The ball flies in the backfield. Kanye Ware almost has the football, but he doesn't get it for Northwestern. Darrell Richardson, the middle linebacker, hustling back there, does dive on the football. Northwestern has great field position after a turnover. They're a football team that have caused a lot of turnovers as well this season. That's the 42nd time they've turned over football teams this year, the 16th fumble recovery, and they have great field position and an opportunity to get right back into this game.
And they operate with 2 tight ends from the eye, Gary Manuel and McBride in the backfield. Play action pass. Al Hunt being pursued by the middle linebacker, Sean Pearson. There's the throw. Grab is made by Chris Choice. Does a good job to make that catch at the 8-yard line. And the coverage by cornerback Nate Green. This young man's got tremendous speed, runs a 40-yard dash in about 4.55, but they say he has even a better pair of hands. He and Willie Spears are almost inseparable.
We know that Chris Choice can catch the football, but we also know he can run with the football. Remember, it was his reverse on the second play of the ballgame that took the ball deep downfield for Northwestern. They had an opportunity after that reverse to score. They blew that opportunity. The story here in the second half is they cannot blow those opportunities. For the 4th time in this game, they've got the football inside Georgetown's 10-yard line.
So they've got the ball now at the 8. Hunt 5 for 10 passing, 44 yards. He gives the ball to Gary Manuel, touchdown! Rangers go behind their right guard for an 8-yard score. That was brilliant blocking on the right side by Larry Gilliard, Joe Gonzalez, a freshman, and John Longan. But what occurred that time, a quick hitter, and the fullback Manuel scores a touchdown with 8:48 to play in the third.
Most teams try to run the fullback to set up the outside. Northwestern does just the opposite. They go outside and then set up the fullback later. They love to slip the fullback in when they get the option going. And Gary Manuel, normally a running back, takes it in for a touchdown, and they have an opportunity to pull within 6 if they can make this extra point.
Just 2 plays. And to kick the ball once again, Danny Palmater. The ball is up and the kick is good. So you've got 8:48 now remaining in the third quarter. Northwestern back in the game. They trail by just 6 points, 20-14. We've got a ball game like we thought the national championship football game would be. Be back after this. 30-yard line. Cody grabs the football. You're scared to death. Northwestern does a good job on the coverage. Man who makes that tackle was Brandon Clay, the D-back from Cleburne, Texas.
You know, a lot of people think you cannot come back in a football game if you run the option and have running game. That's not true at all. You see a 2-play touchdown drive. You can have a diversified offense even if it's a running game. You see it in Nebraska. You see it here with Tim Albin's club.
Sure do. Now in the ball game, Eddie Everson's gone 0 for 4 to start the third quarter. He's scrambling, and he's going to be tackled. He does fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. Middle backer came in, did a good job making the tackle for Northwestern. Nick Arnold comes in to get him.
We talked earlier about Larry Gilliard having to pick it up for Northwestern's offensive line. Well, on Georgetown's side, they have an All-American type, Walt DeLong, and he's the guy, number 75, has got to pick up the play also. He is a fantastic football player, actually sat out 3 years, played basketball for Ohio Southern against Georgetown, and head coach Bill Cronin said, man, that guy's athletic. They said he wanted to play football, and they brought him out, and he became a football player for Georgetown.
You're right. Eddie Everson looks for the open man. He's going to be corralled at the 27-yard line. Loss of a couple. Markevius Woods comes in to make the tackle on him. Well, we also notice another young man made the tackle, Nick Arnold, a nose guard, a 250-pounder. And we're going to take another good look at as they're getting to the quarterback, Eddie Everson.
Well, the key thing is they're getting good coverage downfield. You know they're going to be relentless on the pass rush. They've sacked the quarterback this year, all year long. And the key thing that we've seen here in the second half is Georgetown is unable to run the football at all. They cannot mix in the running game. Therefore, they're dropping back and passing every down. It's fine. They're explosive. They love to be aggressive, so they don't mind passing, but you need to see balance in your offense. If you see a defense like this with Georgetown and a great pass rush, you don't want to be dropping back on every play. You become too predictable.
They're down in 12. Taylor set behind the quarterback. Eddie Everson looks a screen pass. He spins the pass out to Cairns. And Josh makes the catch at the 30, runs it out at the 36-yard line, and leans forward for another yard at the 37. He's up with the right cornerback, Lynn Scott. Lynn is a safety, and a young man who plays all over this gridiron. Great size, 6'1", and 210-pounder. He's such a remarkable athlete. He's also an academic All-American type. Not enough for the first down. It's now 4th and 3.
And he makes a great tackle right here. They set up a screen pass, have their wide receivers run deep downfield, just dump the ball off to Josh Cairns. He makes a nice catch and turns upfield. Now, actually, this play's well blocked. There's a chance he may pick up the first down. But Lynn Scott got off this block, came over, made the tackle short of the first down, forcing Georgetown to punt.
Gabe Stone to kick it away. Kind of a knuckleball kick. Grabbing the ball at the 25-yard line, asking for the fair catch is Lynn Scott. Wisely said with 6:16 to go in the third, no need to kind of cough it up and just simply keep it here. One man I'm a little bit concerned about, Dustin Lovelace, number 98, out of defensive tackle right now for Northwestern. Nick Arnold taking his place, and in the event the Rangers don't have that guy in the trenches, that could wind up being a big factor on the other side of the ball.
What they're trying to do with Troy Hobbs' defense, the defensive coordinator for Northwestern, is keep those guys as fresh as possible. Remember, they've been on the field a lot more than they normally see in a ball game, but they want to have fresh guys rushing the passer. Nick Arnold is a nice substitute guy to rotate in there with Dustin Lovelace and Markevius Woods.
Al Hunt gives to Gary Manuel up the middle, twist for a 5-yard pickup. He got that basically on his own. He did get some blocking, but they came in to make a nice tackle led by Clay Rogers. Clay at 6'3", 230-pound senior. But this Manuel is such a little guy with a low center of gravity. Fired off the football just a moment ago, got an 8-yard touchdown. He finds the middle for 5. It's 2nd down with 5 yards to go.
Gary Manuel is very versatile. Not only does he play tailback and today fullback, he actually was a quarterback on a state high school championship team in Snyder, Oklahoma.
Sure was. 2nd down, 5. McBride behind the quarterback. Al Hunt checking off. Willie Spears wide on one side. On the other side, Tavares Connor. And now Northwestern wants to talk it over with 5 minutes and 33 seconds to play in the third quarter. I think that time Al did not like what he saw. So consequently, he went back there and simply said to his guys, okay, I don't like the defensive set. I don't want to make a mistake because we're right back in the ball game, but it's going to be a mark-off.
Yeah, the 25-second clock had already run out. He was trying to save the 5-yard penalty and call timeout, but the back judge said, no way. The time had already run out. Actually, the side judge keeps the time. The 25-second clock had run out. It's a 5-yard penalty before he could get up and call the timeout.
Willie Spears wide on one side, Tavares Connor on the other. Hunt will have one setback. That'll be Charles McBride. Charles lined up behind the quarterback by 6 yards. And again, you see the quarterback checking off. 2 tight ends. Option play again by Hunt. Across the 30 and tackled near the 36-yard line. Hunt does a beautiful job for his tackle by Shane Pearson. And all day, Shane has mirrored one man, the quarterback, Al Hunt. That's his job against the option-type quarterback scheme.
It was a great run of 10 yards around the left side. Great blocking by wide receiver Willie Spears. And if you play wide receiver for Northwestern, you're not going to catch too many passes. You better be out there blocking. And we've seen Tavares Connor, Willie Spears, Chris Choice. Those guys are very good blockers. And you talked about audibilization. If they're in a double tight end formation, Al Hunt will pick, do we want to go right or left? The coaches tell him which play. He just decides which side would be best to attack.
So they run from the double wing formation. Back to McBride. Charles the outside across the 40 and tackled near the 41-yard line. McBride went to the outside, gets tackled by Clay Rogers. And he's the defensive end who runs so well. They also got some help from safety man Brandon Landis. In the ball game, Hunt's run so doggone well, 14 carries and 64 yards, but a good look that time at the defensive end, Clay Rogers. Talking to the coaching staff about him, he said he came here as a linebacker. He's also picked off a pass, but he said 6 times he's made tackles for losses. This will bring up second down, 5 yards to go. Football at the 42. Al Hunt, play action pass, rolls behind his right tackle. Has some time, here's pressure. He spins the pass and it's deflected beyond midfield, hit by the backup tight end, finally grabbed by Willie Spears, who's always been opportunistic. It was Matt McHale on the coverage, but that ball was tipped first of all and batted around and then finally grabbed by Willie Spears on the deflection, so that went from the quarterback to the tight end grabbing the football and finally to number 5, Willie Spears. Yeah,
Dudley Darrow, the tight end who comes in blocking situation, reaches up. He knocks the football up with his left hand, and fortunately for Northwestern, Willie Spears is there to take the ricochet. And at half, where we saw Georgetown get all the breaks in the first half, we're seeing Northwestern getting the bounces here in the second half.
Hunt is now 6 for 11 passing and 51 yards. And that time, nothing doing. The middle of the Georgetown defense gets to the quarterback, led by Nathan Lindeman and inside linebacker Shane Pearson.
Nathan Lindeman is a very physical guy, loves to run to the football. He was able to get the option play for Al Hunt. But the key now for Northwestern's offense is they're finally getting to pass the football when they want to. They only want to throw the ball 15 to 18 times a game, but they need to do it when they want to, when it's play action, when the other team's expecting the option or a running play. Earlier in the ball game, they were in 3rd and long and have to pass the football. That's not going to work for Northwestern.
From the shotgun, there's the inside handoff to Charles McBride, tackled near the 45-yard line, a short gain of 3. Hit again by Shane Pearson. Well, I'm talking to the defensive coordinator about this football team from Georgetown. He said there's no doubt about it. The guy we go to is that man. Dave Campbell said he has a great nose for the football. And he said we're going to mirror that quarterback, Al Hunt. That's the guy we're really worried about.
Especially in situations like this. On 3rd and long, normally your middle linebacker will have some coverage duties, drop back into pass coverage, but he is going to sit tight and he's going to mirror and spy Al Hunt. What they're trying to avoid is Al Hunt scrambling after dropping back the pass for a first down.
3rd down, 7 from the 45. 2:23 to play in the 3rd. Hunt back. Has some time. Throws the pass. Brandon Christensen makes the catch across the 40 and all the way to the Georgetown 28. Finally stopped by safety man Brian Landis and polished off by Nate Green. What a target this man is. 3 catches in the second half. And when you throw to a guy who's 6'5" and 260, he can break your heart.
The key is number 3 in the middle, Shane Pearson. He's watching the quarterback. He's not watching the tight end. That allows Brandon Christensen to find an opening and pull away. Now, normally Shane Pearson would be covering that tight end and he wouldn't be open. But because of Al Hunt's running ability, he's spying the quarterback, taking a risk that the tight end may get open. And sure enough, Georgetown converts on a 3rd down play.
First down with the 29. Hunt's numbers picking up. He's now 7 for 12 for 67 yards. He gives to Gary Manuel up the middle. He twists and turns all the way to the 15-yard line. Gary Manuel with a 14-yard pickup. Hit quickly off the mark, and he's the go-to guy. Hit by safety man Matt McHale, the sophomore 200-pounder. But he's very quickly off the mark. And like they say, they don't miss his running skill of a Matt Walter, but maybe the blocking. But a great run here by Manuel.
Yeah, and you see his shoe come right off. They grabbed his foot, and the shoe came off, but he continued motoring up the football field. And there's a timeout on the field. Georgetown calling timeout. They need to regroup on the defensive side.
1:57 to go in the 3rd. Georgetown by 6. Drives, Gary Manuel the spark, plus their quarterback, Al Hunt, really lighting up the scoreboard. He's gone 7 for his last 12. Let's go to the sideline, and Eric, what have you got for us?
Real simply, what that timeout was not really a strategy talk. It was simply a pep rally. Defensive coaches kind of get in the face of their guys, imploring them to make the stop here. This is really a turning point in the game, guys.
Really is. And Eric, you can just feel momentum shifting to Northwestern. Out they come on first down of the 15. I formation. Manuel the up back. McBride again the tailback. That's Hunt coming down. He's forcing the pressure at the 10, and he's finally tackled at the 6-yard line. Hunt gets 9 yards in the play. The safety man, Brian Landis, makes the stop along with cornerback B.J. Paulus, the dynamic duo.
Al Hunt does a great job of turning the corner. He hasn't had an open way around anywhere today running the football. He's mostly had to dodge defenders, but this time the option play worked perfectly, taking it to the outside. And Al Hunt from East Central Junior College, an All-American punter, not an All-American quarterback, has come in and played great football for Northwestern. Here you see him following the block of the fullback, Gary Manuel. Manuel makes a big block on the linebacker, knocking him down and allowing the quarterback, Al Hunt, to almost gain another first down.
On second down, one of the extra back comes in the stack guy. That'll be Brandon Harders. Hunt keeps it himself inside the 5 and finally tackled at the 1-yard line. Hunt with a magnificent run, tackled by the left end Clay Rogers. That time Hunt simply made it happen. His great speed to the outside. His teammates, I talked to Charles McBride, I also talked to Gary Manuel, said he's like a tailback playing quarterback.
And here you have a mix-up on the play. You have everyone running inside. There's no one to option a football through to, but Al Hunt says, that's okay, I'll turn the corner. You saw him get up and smile. He said, hey, where was my tailback? I needed someone to pitch the ball to. If you're not going to be back there, I guess I'll have to keep it. And he almost scores a Northwestern touchdown.
This will be the 11th play of the drive, and Hunt's numbers continue to mount. He just had his 16th carry. First and goal. Hunt pitches back, touchdown Northwestern. Excellent play by the quarterback, just like you draw it up on the board. Hunt got the outside, played the defensive end, gave it back to McBride. McBride gets the 1-yard score with 36 seconds to play in the third quarter.
We talked about the ability of Northwestern to score. They're 20 points down by halftime. Well, hey, we haven't even ended the third quarter. And with this option run, Charles McBride has brought his ball club back to a tie. It's 20-20, and they have an opportunity to go ahead if they make this extra point.
They sure do. Isn't that amazing? At halftime, it was 20-0 Georgetown. Almeida on the kick. The ball is up, and the kick is perfect. That's a magnificent 11-play, 75-yard drive. And when you take a look at it, Northwestern's a football team that did exactly what Tim Albin said yesterday. He said, guys, if you get behind in the football game, don't panic. And the fans from Oklahoma down at Alba have got to be ecstatic what they're seeing right now, because you don't very often in a championship football game see a team down by 20 points at halftime rally like this, but a couple of turnovers got them right back in the game.
Well, one thing is these two ball clubs will not quit. Now, they haven't played in very many close games, but they have so much character. They believe in themselves, and they score. We talked a lot about Georgetown averaging 53 points a game, but Northwestern averages 43 points a game. It's nothing for them to score 20, 30 points in a half. And here, 11-play drive, 75 yards. All the momentum right now is on the Northwestern sideline, but that doesn't mean this game is over, because Georgetown has the ability to bounce right back and do the same thing. They've had open receivers here in the third quarter. They've just had a couple of drops. Now, the key thing for Georgetown is to gain a little bit of the running game. They have no running game in their repertoire right now. They're having to throw on every down, allowing Northwestern to unleash that front four. What they need to do is just get a few running plays, hit a couple of passes, and they'll be right back where they want to be. But we've got a championship game that's a one-point battle as we're going to head to the fourth quarter here in a couple seconds.
Palmonter kicks to the up man, and grab is made, and they're out for a 9-yard pickup to the 39-yard line. But that will give quarterback Eddie Everson great field position. At that time, he kind of bounced the kick coming down the field, ran it right up the gut. The man who carried the football that time, Jason Eves, and John Art on the tackle. So let's see what the quarterback can do, Eddie Everson. He can work his magic like he was in that third quarter, 1 for 5. Simply didn't get the tempo and rhythm back. But let's see what he can do now with 27 ticks remaining here in the third. He'll line his team up. His fullback will be Corey Taylor. One man shy, so they're going to bring in a tight end, something you don't see often. Dominic Olivero comes in as 6'2", a 200-pound junior. Tim Albin on the near sideline for Northwestern. Running play up the middle. Taylor cuts up the 47. Corey Taylor, straight ahead running, nothing fancy, hit by Kenya Ware, the outside linebacker. And on first down, he crashes right at the middle for an excellent gain. It'll be a 9-yard pickup. It'll set up second down 1.
Well, that's a great call by head coach Bill Cronin. He knows he needs to establish some running game. The third quarter is going to run out here before they can run a play. We've got it set up for a beautiful third quarter national championship encounter.
And we thought this would be the finest national championship game ever. We're seeing it. We'll go to the fourth quarter. A 21-20 ball game. Northwestern by 1. Back with the final 15 after this. Who's ignited this football team, picking up the passing. He's gone 7 for 12, but he's done a beautiful job to run the option. Now, let's take a look at the player of the year, Eddie Evanston. Their quarterback is 16 for 31, 251 yards. Eddie Evanston gives to Taylor. Corey up the middle across midfield and finally tackled at the Northwestern 39-yard line. He's brought down by Kanye Ware. Taylor, a good running back. Found the right side. He likes to run from tackle to tackle. Gets the football as he moves the chains.
Corey Taylor running the football up the middle of the football field does an outstanding job. And what great discipline by Bill Cronin and his staff as you see this play unfold. They pull their left guard around to the right side, and you see him work the ball at the middle. He's a great runner inside the tackles, and it's super disciplined by this offensive staff to run the football in this situation.
Again, the dive play coming to Taylor, carrying for the 6th time, only a couple of yards on the left side. Hit by Markevius Woods.
Anytime you become one-dimensional, Tom, you are not going to move the football. And we saw Georgetown become very one-dimensional in the third quarter. But right now they're sticking in a few running plays, and that will allow them to go back where they want to, throw the football. And they've got the ball in plus territory. They're moving the football. They're down by only 1. There is no panic in this disciplined ball club. Bill Cronin's taught these players throughout their whole season to be a very disciplined, unemotional bunch.
2nd down 7, play action pass. Evanston to throw for the 32nd time. Moves out of the pocket, which he does so well. Going to pull the ball down and run with it, and tackled near the 34-yard line by Chris Ellis. That was a great one-on-one collision. Ellis loves to get to quarterbacks. Big physical kid, a sophomore, 210 pounds. And Eddie Evanston's as good a running quarterback as you'll see. Man shaken up on the field, and we'll double check to see who that might be at the 13:51 mark. Oh, that's tough loss if that's going to be Lovelace. Dustin Lovelace was the man shaken up. He missed a lot of the third quarter because of injury.
Yeah, he is a fantastic player. The guy has great NFL potential. Got 2nd in the voting behind Eddie Evanston as the NAIA Player of the Year. It's almost unheard of for an inside defensive type player to be in the same race with a quarterback like Eddie Evanston, but that's how dominating he's been this year. 66 tackles, 15 sacks from a defensive tackle that's double teamed on every play. Unbelievable. They're very sad to see him on the field, but they're happy to see Ron Moore, number 91, back on the field. We saw him go off with an injury, but he's back in the lineup for Northwestern. Not in the last play. In fact, he was putting a lot of pressure on Eddie Evanston, but we saw how Eddie Evanston makes his offense go. It looked like he was surely going to be sacked. 2 defenders back there, but he spun out, turned upfield, and actually made some positive yardage on the play.
Well, it's a knee injury, we can tell that, as they help Dustin Lovelace off the field. Oh, my goodness. That's the hardest injury you see. And Tim Albin is simply saying to the referee, did you see that hit? I think he might have got him to the blind side, but they're both professional. Bill Cronin and Tim do a good job. They don't get overly emotional when they talk to officials, simply ask for clarification.
Both teams have lost some fantastic players. We talked about the fullback for Northwestern, but a cornerback, All-American Frank Parks for Georgetown is unable to play because of injury.
They're down in 4, pay down coming up. Crowd comes in motion. And the quarterback, Evanston, lost it, and it's going to be a fumble. The ball is on the ground at the 32-yard line. Northwestern has got it. The man who picks it up, Lynn Scott. How about Northwestern? That's the 3rd turnover by Georgetown here in the second half. And Lynn Scott, their big play guy, gets the ball at the 35.
This play there just missed on the snap. On the inside, a ball lay on the field right there to dive on the football. And actually, they stopped the play when Markevius Woods jumped on the football. He really didn't have full possession of it. Here you see the snap. The ball's dropped. Brian Thomas, an All-American type player at center. The strongest player on the team doesn't get the snap with Eddie Evanston. The ball falls on the ground, and Markevius Woods is going to get credited with recovering the football.
Now they give the ball to Manuel. Gary tries the right side and not much doing. Tackle made by Justin Morris. All-conference nose guard and getting help by Ed Long. Good outside backer. So that'll bring up 2nd down 10. Manuel's really been the spark for Northwestern here in the second half. He, along with the quarterback, Al Hunt. They've done a pretty good job on Charles McBride, but this little fire plug, who's been a former high school quarterback, played extremely well. Second down 10. Shotgun formation. Double wing on the far side of the field. Flankered on the near side will be Chris Choice. They'll try to force man coverage. Inside handoff. Now the quarterback's going to run it himself. Al Hunt across the 40 and tackled after a first down pickup at the 49 by Marty Park. Excellent run again by the quarterback, Al Hunt. And you can see why he's 13th in the country in scoring, a tremendous athlete for a first down at the 49.
This is a play he's reading. He's sticking the ball in the belly, and he's watching the defensive end. If the end comes down and takes the running back, Charles McBride, he'll turn the corner. Here you see him outrunning Tony Steele around the corner. And finally, he's drugged down by a couple of players, including Marty Park, a free safety for Georgetown. Marty Park is an interesting story. Here's a guy who's lost 55 pounds. He was a lineman until he lost those 55 pounds. Now he's the free safety.
Play action pass, Hunt again to run beyond midfield at the 40 and knocked out of bounds at the 38. Driven out by Nathan Lindeman. Lindeman is a good football player, but again you see the rollout skill of Al Hunt. 19th carry on the afternoon, and now he's over 100 yards rushing the ball game.
And that's the 6th time this season that the quarterback's gone over 100 yards. And today he went over the 1,000-yard mark as a quarterback, but he's protected the football well this year too. When he has passed the football, he's thrown only 3 interceptions. Here, his speed against a worn-out Georgetown defense, he's able to turn the corner, use that great speed. Does a nice job of missing the big hit there, steps out of bounds, and picks up another first down for Northwestern.
Gary Manuel, the lone setback behind his quarterback on first down. 12 minutes and 29 seconds to go. Northwestern Oklahoma leads by 1. Receivers left and right. Spears the flanker back. By the far side of the field, Connor. And he gives the fullback up the middle. Gary Manuel twists and turns down to around the 30-yard line. He is such a good inside runner. Got the blocking up the gut. And finally stopped by Brian Landis. One thing about this football team from Northwestern, they love to run the ball. 326 rushing yards a game. That offensive line extremely strong. They're led up front by John Longden. So now the ball at the 30-yard line. Second down 2 at the 12-minute mark of this game. Single flanker back on the near side of the field, Chris Joyce. Manuel the up back. McBride the tailback. Hunt runs the option and is tackled at the 33-yard line for a loss. Great one-on-one stop by Nathan Lindeman. He got to the pan and made the play by himself. That's a great effort against quarterback Al Hunt.
Nathan Lindeman was an outside linebacker. He stepped to the outside and he came in on a blitz on the corner. He actually got knocked down by number 2. Watch number 2, Gary Manuel. Bang, he knocks him down, but there's no quit in Nathan Lindeman. He actually reaches up and makes the tackle on quarterback Al Hunt.
Hunt now with 20 carries in the ball game for right at 102 yards. Third down coming up, 5 yards to go. They've got to get to around the 28-yard line. Hunt checks the defense, checking off the line. 2 tight ends. Spears the flanker back. Hunt's going to run it up and tackle shy of the 30. 3 men came in, led by Justin Morris. He also got help by Tony Steele. That's the strength of the Tiger defense, and the nose guard and the defensive end getting it.
Now brings up an interesting situation. 4th and 2 at the 30-yard line. A 47-yard field goal try, probably out of the range of their field goal kicker, Danny Paulmounter. He's only hit one from 40 yards this year. If they go for it, they could try to make a first down. You see Al Hunt doing a good job of cutting through as many defenders as possible. We got a big 4th down situation here. Northwestern with the football and has made 53% of their 4th downs this season.
Sure have. When you bat that well, you know you've got a great line. Hunt will take the snap. Almost tripped coming out of center. Gives back to McBride. The tackle is made at the 37-yard line. He's hit by Brian Landis, the safety man. Landis came in and mirrored that beautifully, but I think the fact that when Hunt got the snap, tripped up over his own man, went back there, he got nailed. So we've got a timeout with 10-13 to play in this championship game. It's Northwestern now leading Georgetown by 1. They'll have the final 10-13 after this.
Good news for Northwest, even though they just got stopped on their offensive drive. Dustin Lovelace, they were putting on a brace on his right knee, but he should be out on the field to play defense. They're about to go to play, so back to you, Stan and Tom.
At the 37 on first down, Eddie Everson with a lone setback, and of course Corey Taylor. Everson dives the football 31 times, fires a sideline pattern. The receiver fell down at the 45, never had a chance in Cody Brown. Double coverage that time by Northwestern, led by Edwin Moore. He's done a beautiful job with this football team. Moore picked it up in the playoffs with 5 interceptions.
There you see Dustin Lovelace. Good news for Northwestern.
Yep.
You saw the report from Eric. Boy, you have a medical staff works pretty quick over there. You know, during a timeout, they get a knee brace on a big guy like that pretty quick. They do it, and you know he wants to be on the field in his 4th quarter of a national championship game.
You bet he does. Everson now with 2 running backs. And he pitches back. A wild pitch. Out it comes to Josh Carnes is on the field. And Northwestern battling again to get the football at the 21-yard line. Northwestern picks it up. Another errant pitch. And the man who will pick it up will be the middle backer, Daryl Richardson, the 27-year-old performer. And now Northwestern, for the 4th time, makes the big defensive play.
Forcing Georgetown to run the option is what a defense wants to do. That's not their best play. Here you see the pitch wildly out in front. Eddie Evanston out in front of Josh Cairns. Cairns cannot pick up the football, and they're hustling and getting his 2nd fumble recovery is Daryl Richardson. That's the 3rd turnover by Georgetown here in the 2nd half. All of them caused because of their execution with the football. It's not because of big hits. And both teams, when they look back and see their turnovers, all 5 fumbles by both teams combined have been mistakes by the offense rather than great plays by the defense.
First down out to 21. McBride dots the I. Al Hunt back to throw, fires the sideline. Connor there makes the catch inside the 10. He's hit by B.J. Paulus, the left cornerback. Good throw, good for 11 yards, and a penalty flag is down at the 9:53 mark. The best thing that's happened in this ball game has been the quarterbacking skill of Al Hunt, in particular his passing. He has really picked it up, not only as a running quarterback, we knew about that, but his passing has been exceptional. He's been able to hit people on the down and out, but a flag is down. Hunt is now 7 for 12 for 67 yards. Here's referee Dwight Niebling.
Holding by the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
In the past, the college rule had been a 10-yard penalty on a holding call from the foul position, which means if your lineman's dropping back 5 or 6 yards, it ends up being a 16-yard penalty. They correctly, I believe, changed that penalty this year to say it's a 10-yard penalty from where the ball was snapped. So it's just a net 10-yard penalty, but it takes back a big catch downfield by Georgetown. 1st and
20 from the shotgun. Hunt's going to run it. Tries to make his move to the outside. Hunt inside the 20-yard line. What a remarkable effort by Al. Hit by safety man Marty Park. He's the only veteran, that secondary senior, but you see the running skill of the tailback and the quarterback, an 11-yard gain.
Dave Campbell, the defensive coordinator for Georgetown, a very emotional guy, said this is the thing that we're worried about more than anything else is the scrambling of Al Hunt. It may be a called pass play, but this guy has the ability to run. Now we've seen Shane Pearson trying to mirror him, trying to spy him, but he's able to get away that time and pull forward and almost pick up 11 yards of the 20 that they needed for the first down.
Hunt from the shotgun. He gives up the middle to Charles McBride. McBride bangs down to the 12, hit by Stephen Lickert, the inside backer. A junior out of Fort Thomas, Kentucky from Highlands High School. He plays the outside with Lindemann, makes a good tackle, but there's McBride, and now that'll bring up 3rd down and 2 with 8:50 to play in the ball game, and at this point, the Rangers from Northwestern Oklahoma State lead by 1.
And you see the number 24 on the helmets of Northwestern's players, a little tape with the number 24. That's because Matt Walter, their fullback, is unable to play today, but they're really picking it up without Matt Walter here in the 2nd half running the football.
Now they've got the stacked I formation. Extra back, Hunt's going to keep it himself, tries the left side, inside the 10, and finally stopped near the 7. He did a beautiful job in the fake, still picks up 5, hit by safety man Brian Landis. But Hunt makes so much happen. His 23rd carry, he's now picked up 121 yards rushing.
Al Hunt, a motivated football player. You think he's heard enough about Eddie Evanston, the quarterback on the other side? Evanston, the sophomore NAIA Player of the Year, still has a chance to bring his ball club back. But Al Hunt has heard a lot about how great that quarterback was. No one's been talking about Al Hunt, but we talked in the open that this guy is a big play guy as well.
Brandon Hanger's in the ball game right now for Northwestern. Die play up the middle comes to Gary. Manuel goes up the gut to the 5, and again tackled by Brian Landis. Nothing too fancy. What you want to do is simply give the bread and butter back, and Manuel's been tremendous here in the 2nd half. He's one of those guys, a little fire plug. He can find that hole. He got good solid blocking again up the middle.
It's an important defensive stand here for Georgetown. If they could somehow hold Northwestern to a field goal, they would be within 4 points, meaning a touchdown going the other way would put them in the lead. So they're really trying here to hold Northwestern to a field goal. Even though they're back on their heels, it's important that they make some plays.
2nd down, 5. Hunt tries the left side himself. He's going to try to take it in for the score. Does he? Touchdown! Al Hunt does a magnificent job for Northwestern Oklahoma State. Tried the left side. 2 or 3 people had a shot at him. But once again, Hunt crossed the goal line with 7:26 to go. Now the Rangers lead 27-20.
The do-it-all guy for Northwestern, Al Hunt, the quarterback, looked like he was going to be pulled down by the jersey, but he's able to take it into the end zone for a touchdown. His 19th rushing touchdown of the season. Here you see the option going down to the left side, a block by Gary Manuel, the fullback, getting out in front. And right there you see the quarterback get grabbed by the jersey, but he has too much power. The little fire plug goes in for the touchdown.
Henry Palmetto tries to kick it through the uprights to make it 28-20, and he does it. He splits the uprights. Right now with timeout in the field, Northwestern with an 8-point lead. The Rangers, who trail by 20 at halftime, have got an 8-point advantage. Touchdown number 19.
You'd think this guy would be worn out, but he really gets in a rhythm. Like great tailbacks, he has a running back mentality. He is such an all-around player, a great punter. A guy who can run the football, very tough. He leads his team 21 yards on a touchdown after their middle linebacker, Daryl Richardson, fell on a fumble, and he leads them to a touchdown. Hunt gets a 5-yard touchdown on the play. He's got 127 yards, 6 yards from his career best, 133 yards rushing that he had against Lambeau. But this game's not over. Remember, it's still an 8-point deficit. You can go for 2 in college football. All Georgetown needs to do is go down, get a touchdown, and make a 2-point conversion.